Hi, everyone, and welcome to week 2 of institutional assessment and effectiveness. One of the things I really appreciate about my job is that it's very flexible. I can be in a lot of different places and still be able to be connected to students and my work. So I'm actually in Columbia, South Carolina right now because my mom has had surgery this past week and I wanted to be here for that. So we're in the Lexington Hospital. I'm here with my dad. I'll let you see him.
Hello, class. Good to see you.
So Um, I wanted to make sure that you guys are prepared for this week and all that we've got going on. It's a very big week. There's a lot to read, there's a lot to do. So I wanted to walk you through a little bit of that. And I look forward to seeing you guys at our Zoom sessions this week as well. So you'll notice on Canvas that there's a lot of documents related to accreditation. There's something on the Middle States Association, there's something on CAS standards. All of these documents are very, very important as you think about the process of accreditation and how that works and how it's guided. Now, if you'll watch, as you watch the PowerPoint and you hear about what kind of brought about the whole need for accountability, for accreditation, you'll see a little bit about why that's so important. But in this process, I want to make sure that you guys know what it is that guides our work. And so you'll see that there are CAS standards, and that's a lot of the basically the principles, the ideas that guide our practice within higher education. Um, there's also middle states documents that talk about like the accreditation process as it relates to middle states. And so if you are in the Southern Association, if you're like working in a college in the Southeast, you might be in SACS. If you remember from the interview with Dan Friedman, he talked about the SACS accreditation visits. So each part of the country has a different accrediting body that is kind of working with maybe that area of colleges and universities. So it'd be good if you are in a different part of the country to think and find out what accreditation body is working with my institution. So that's not something you have to do for a grade, but I think it's certainly something that you could do to learn more about your own institutions and where they're accredited, and if they're accredited, hopefully they are. Um, but this process and how it works, I think that's why I know that's a lot to read this week, but it's very, very important that you guys are well versed in what are some of the sort of principles, the guiding ideas that really help us have accountability within our work in higher education. So take a look at those. You'll also see that there's a link to the College Navigator, which is through the NCES database, which is a statistical database. It's really, really a helpful tool when you want to know some demographic information about colleges and universities, like how many students attend, how much, what are their retention rates, what are the financial aid numbers. Every Office of Institutional Research within each campus has to submit those data to the National Education for Statistics NCES, for the statistics. They have to submit that information as part of accreditation, actually. So click on that link. It's actually going to take you to a website that you can look and see more information on your own institution or another one that you're studying, perhaps for this project for our class. So all this I'm hoping will really kind of work together to give you a better picture of how accreditation works and the importance of it. And so that you can, if you remember, you're working on the first 3 sections of your assessment project coming up, and that one of those first 1 or 2 sections talks about accreditation. So how do I find this information out? Well, this module is really going to help you navigate that. So it's going to really help you understand that better. So this week, I want you to be working on all of the information that's on Canvas and get familiar with all those documents. I also want you to engage in our discussion. You did a great job last week. I will say that with not waiting until Saturday is very helpful in terms of the discussion, but I also don't want you to just engage like Monday or Tuesday and then drop off and we never hear from you again. So making sure that you check back with the discussion if someone has responded to you or asked you a question, just saying, thanks so much for your thoughts. This is really good. This is helpful. Just to validate someone, it can be really an important part of moving a discussion along. So make sure that if you do on the front end work on your discussions, you're not forgetting to come back, later in the week as well. We'll also be having our Zoom sessions. So I think I said already, if you do not have information on when you are scheduled, you need to let me know. I sent those emails earlier this week. But you'll be logging on and we'll have a discussion, and I'll give you guys each an opportunity to share a little bit about your projects and then provide feedback to each of you on those topics. And so that when you go to actually submit your topic and this week, you'll have a much better sense of confidence about what you're studying because you'll have some feedback from me and from others in the class as you kind of pull that together. So be thinking about that for Zoom, and then also for the discussion and reading what we have on Canvas. And then go ahead, if you have time this week, to be able to begin working on your assessment projects, pulling some of the information together for those first three questions, or those first three sections, for those projects would be a really helpful way to get ahead. You can also ask questions if you have very specific ones about the projects when we meet on Zoom. Or you can put those on our general course questions that's in the first module on Canvas. So thank you so much. I'm excited for what we have ahead. And if you have any questions, like I said, feel free to reach out to me or post those in the first module on Canvas. And have a great week, and I will see you very soon.